So you're thinking about renovating your property and you're looking for unique ways to make it worth a whole lot more so you could have a much higher return. But there are a lot of things that you might think are good investments that really aren't. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you 5 things that won't actually boost your property's value that you should avoid doing if you're looking for a good ROI. And the first thing is adding a swimming pool. Although swimming pools really add a luxury feel to a lot of homes and make them look extremely nice, they also have a lot of overhead expenses with them. Although you might think a swimming pool just sits there and doesn't do anything, you have to pay for filtering, you have to clean the pool constantly, you have to make sure the water is upkept, you have to refill it with a lot of water, and you always have to make sure that it abides by the regulations in your area. Having a pool is very nice, but it has a lot of problems that most people won't want to deal with. Another thing too is it acts as a safety hazard. If you don't know how to swim, or if you have small kids or pets, that pool right there is a safety hazard for all of those people. All it takes is one wrong move and it could lead to a tragic accident that most people won't even want to think about, which is why they probably won't even lean towards buying a house with a pool. And if you haven't really thought about it, take 1 second to really picture it. If you have something that's circulating thousands of gallons of water, then obviously it's going to cost you a whole lot of money, and those expenses are going to pile up over time, and most people don't even want to deal with that. So a pool, although it is very nice, is not the best way to boost your property's value. Another thing that a lot of people do that they think is actually beneficial to their property's worth is turning their garage into an extra room. A lot of times when first moving onto a property, most people won't want their garage to be pre-made for them. So if you flip the garage into a bedroom, putting the house up for sale, it's going to make it look a lot less attractive to people, because in their eyes a garage is a garage. Although they might end up turning it into, let's say, a family den in the near future, or they're going to turn it into their little area where they could chill afterwards. Normally the one thing that won't be a selling point for a property is just turning the garage into an extra room for people. Another mistake a lot of people make is putting wallpaper all over their house. If there's one thing that I don't like about wallpaper, it's the fact that it looks old or just looks cheap, and it doesn't have as much of a natural appeal as a bright paint color or just a shiny glossy paint. Wallpaper, even though it's a good alternative, is not the most appealing alternative. Most people will want paint in their house and they don't want something that could just be ripped off the wall. And if you guys are looking to sell your house, don't add wallpaper. If you guys have wallpaper, it's going to seem old, outdated, and just look weird overall, especially if it doesn't match the vibe of the room. So just give your house a nice paint job and call it a day. Wallpaper is just not the best way to go, if I'm being honest with you. Now, one thing that's really cool about certain houses is they have one room that's fully made with glass, and this is called a sunroom. So picture this, for example. You wake up, it's a bright, beautiful morning, you step outside your bedroom and you walk straight to this room where the sun is just glaring through. You can see all of your plants, all the nature surrounding your house. And long story short, you paid thousands of dollars for it thinking it was a good investment. You're wrong. Adding a sunroom is not going to boost your property's value that much, because you're spending a lot more money than what it'll actually add onto the property's worth. If you guys are looking for a good way to boost your property's value, I'm telling you, adding a room that's made with windows, although it is nice, is not the best way to go. You're going to be spending tons of money and you're not going to be getting the best ROI on this investment, because it's not something that most people will find as the selling point. Although it is very attractive to the eye and a lot of people might like the idea of it, they're not going to be willing to pay for it, especially since it'll cost you anywhere from like $15,000 to $20,000 to make one. And if you try to add that sunroom as a reason to boost your property's value by $25,000, most people are going to look away. Knowing me, I wouldn't even look in the direction of that house, because an extra $25,000 for a glass room sounds absolutely absurd. So forget the sunroom idea. It's not worth it. It's not going to give you a good ROI, and it's definitely not going to make your property's value shoot up a few $100,000. And also avoid converting bedrooms. A lot of people like to buy a house and they see that they have extra rooms that they don't use, so they just end up converting it before they resell it or flip it, and that's the easiest way to lose value on your home. Converting bedrooms, yeah, it might be a little nice and it might be appealing for certain people, but you're narrowing down your niche a whole lot in terms of the people that you could sell a property to. If you convert, let's say, a 3-bedroom house into a 2-bedroom and you just say there's an office now, most people won't really care for an office. They're looking for living spaces that they're going to use every single day, and more chances than not, a lot of people leave their house to go to work, so an office isn't even that appealing. Converting a bedroom is not going to be that beneficial, and it's not going to add much worth to your house, especially when you start to list it up for sale and add all the characteristics that your home has. 3 bedrooms is a lot more appealing than 2, especially because people use a bedroom every single day, and there's no way they're not going to, because they need a place to sleep. So don't convert your bedroom into anything else. And another thing that pertains to what I mentioned at the start of this video that doesn't really boost your property's value a whole lot is adding a hot tub. Hot tubs are definitely a bit nicer to have, especially if you like sitting in the water and relaxing outside, but most people won't find a hot tub as a selling point point for a house, and a hot tub is not going to add much value to your home either. It's a cool feature, but it's not worth it. You're going to be spending thousands of dollars for something that's going to constantly need to be maintained just like a regular pool, and you're also going to have to pay a bit more electricity because you have to power this thing, and it's not really adding value. So there's no point in purchasing one if you guys are looking for reasons to appraise your home, because it's not going to make that big of a difference. So just avoid this mistake overall, because although it is appealing for certain people, like I've mentioned before, it's not appealing to a large demographic because it's not a necessary expense that they feel they need to make, especially if they're not looking for anything that's overdoing it. So if you guys are looking for ways to boost your property's value, make sure you keep these things into consideration as things that you shouldn't do, because although a lot of people do it, they're not actually seeing a good ROI, and sometimes they'll make themselves think they are, but in reality they're just breaking even on their investment or even losing money. So avoid doing these things and make sure you keep it into consideration at all times. But besides that, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.